Sorry if the clips are a little bit on the short side, guys, but I have to have my wits about me.
Yeah,
There's another little boat in front of us, one of these go boat things, plastic, electric, and judging from the look of it, they don't know how to handle the damn thing. So, see you in a minute. Hello everyone and welcome to Life on Board AmyJo. And if we sidestep a little bit, you can see that we're actually moored in Paddington Station. Yeah.
No.
Paddington Basin.
Even. Yeah, that's better.
We've actually been here for a couple of nights and it's been really good here. We've thoroughly enjoyed it here. It's clean, it's relatively quiet for a city.
Yeah.
And I mean, the bins are being emptied every day, which is amazing. And the people here are so friendly. So I highly recommend it, but do book the moorings if you want to get a mooring space, because they are extremely limited here. It's all right. Sorry the camera's moving, but it's a bit windy here today as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on today.
I think we were lucky here though, because the 2 days before we moored up, there was dragon boats. So the actual visitor moorings were empty,
Yeah.
But 2 days later, they're now full.
Yeah, that's right. So well, we finally made it to Paddington Basin. That's us, moored on the visitors' mooring outside Marks and Spencer's.
Although I think choose when I wear it now.
Well, we've finally got some clippers off of Amazon, as we've not managed to get smudged to a groomer, and we're having a go at do-it-yourself grooming smudge. He's been very good. He has just stood there. That's the side we've done, and his head hasn't been done. We're not certain about that yet. But we're just taking a little bit off, I think, at first, until we get used to it. Well, we've just done a bit of smudge. Well, he's had his very light trim, I think, because as we're newbies to this, I might tuck him, tidy his face up. But that's one side. Let's have a look at the other side of him. His spot side. Oh no, he's going to sit down now. There we go. Well done.
Between them.
He's been very good.
He's been excellent.
Just try and do his muzzle, I think.
TikTok challenge, apparently, to speak all the words that your dog knows while you're talking and pretending to be talking on the phone. And this is Smudge's reaction. So I'm going to feed Smudge in a minute and give him his dinner, and then I'm going to take him for a walk, and when we get back we'll have a treat. Doesn't work for Smudge. On leaving Paddington Basin, we retraced our steps back to Willow Tree Marina, where we stayed for a couple of days. After that, we then returned back on the Regents Canal, following past Paddington Basin, through Little Venice and on to King's Cross. When our 2-day mooring slot over, it was time to move, and we made our exit from Paddington, which we thoroughly enjoyed, and made our way back onto Little Venice. On leaving Paddington Basin, we retraced our steps back up the Regent Canal to Willington Marina. We needed to pick up a new mattress from there, and it was being delivered to the marina. So we had to spend a couple of days at the marina, and then we made our way all the way back to Little Venice again. I missed that on the way here, so I'm catching it on this run. I think it's either offices or a house. There's some sort of protest going on down there, not quite sure what. The motorcyclists are trying to make a point, I think. This is the North Circular Road again. The A406, yeah. Meanwhile, moored up in Wilton Marina, we were moored opposite the clubhouse. An afternoon entertainment was laid on for us. It's chill time for the dog. But don't be deceived, he's not relaxing. He's keeping his eye out on that lot over there. He's been watching them for the last 10 minutes. Always on alert. Well, there we go, folks, Little Venice for you. And it's very busy. As you can see, there are lots of boats moored up either side, so we've got to have our wits about us. Wide beam restaurant boat in front of us, who's taking it very gingerly. So he's slowing everything down. So I'm going to have to put the camera down and concentrate. And that's when things got really interesting, much to the joy of the people in the restaurant over the tunnel. Unfortunately, the poor guy on the wide beam had got something around his prop and had to stop to get it off. We were about 2 boat lengths into the tunnel when this chap appeared at the other end. I sounded the horn to alert him I was in the tunnel, but there was no stopping him. He was coming through come what may. So we had no choice but to reverse back out of the tunnel to let him through. Once the boat was past, his prop wash started pushing AmyJo back into the tunnel, but as you can see there were boats already in there. And we frightened the life out of a young couple on a go boat. I shouted at them to try and wait until I could get AmyJo back under control, but as you can see she just kept heading into the tunnel despite being in reverse. It took all the thrust of AmyJo's engine to make her reverse back out of the tunnel. The poor couple must have been petrified. Of course I apologised to them and explained what was going on, and once they understood they were perfectly okay about it. Well, that was a bit of fun and games coming into the tunnel, but the poor old wide beam restaurant boat got something round his prop. I had to stop, and a boat coming the other way thought that was his cue to come into the tunnel. He hadn't reckoned on me being in the way. Sure what these properties are, but they're worth a lot of money, and I know Lynette likes watching gardens, so I thought I'll record this for you, Lynette. Okay?
Right.
Now who lives in a house like this? We're approaching Macclesfield Bridge, which is in the north of Regents Park, but it's better known as Blow Up Bridge. For despite its pleasant position, it belies a horrific accident that once occurred in the past. In the early hours of the 2nd of October 1874, the Tilbury, a barge containing a concoction of coffee and nuts, exploded right under the bridge. Both the boat and structure were immediately destroyed, alongside its less volatile cargo. The Spectator would later report as perilous combination of 2 or 3 barrels of petroleum and about 5 tons of gunpowder. The 3 men on board Tilbury, one of whom it's presumed lit a match that ignited the blast, were killed. Windows were shattered a mile from the explosion and residents sat bolt upright in bed, fearing an earthquake. The animals in the nearby zoo caused a hullabaloo, and dead fish rained from the sky in the West End. Sorry? Wow, you want to see what's up ahead? The lock. But this is a fascinating place. I bet the kids have a whale of a time here. Through there is our first lock. Loads of gongoozlers around here. And we've got lockies on today working the lock for us. So that's great to see. We've been wondering where the water bus had got to that overtook us, because we haven't seen him wind. But there he is. What a place. This is Hampstead Road lock number 1. It's the first of the locks that we've encompassed on the Regents Canal, and the number of people around here is absolutely amazing. There's people everywhere. We would do for the canal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How about these for properties, folks? It's like pod living. Strange places. But very comfortable inside, I would imagine. I love the fact they've converted 3 gasometers that were into plush apartments and gardens. Well, that's it, folks. We've made it to King's Cross on the Regents Canal now. We're on eco moorings, which are free but bookable, and they have electric hookup. So we're here now for the next 2 days. There's a nice restaurant opposite, which we may have to sample. I don't know yet. I think these are moorings for the St Pancras Cruising Club. One of the problems of mooring in London is finding grass for smudge. As you can see, it's quite well built up here, but there are little areas of grass, and we've just found a little patch. So he's done what he needs to do. But it's quite a heavily populated area, but actually well kept. Not too bad at all. There you go, folks. Interesting.
And now I'm going to add my little bit onto some of the vlogs. I might not do it every time, but from my point of view, from Southall to Paddington Basin, it wasn't half as bad as what I'd been led to believe it was going to be like.
Yeah, we were told it was a little bit run down, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to moor there and what have you.
Yeah, but actually, yes, they were double moored, but coming along, it was a lot greener than we both thought, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all the boats, they're all different shapes and sizes.
As you'll see on the vlog, there's some really lovely, colourful boats.
It's like being in Amsterdam in one point with the houseboats along the side, which was really lovely.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and Little Venice, the part that I've seen, is a bit disappointing because it's just a few boats moored round this triangle.
Yeah,
But-
and most of those moorings you can't moor on.
That's it, yeah. But actually into the Paddington Arm, the buildings, the tall buildings are amazing.
Yeah, the place is absolutely fabulous. We've thoroughly enjoyed it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my take on this trip so far today.
been good, then.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and the duckweed wasn't too much of a problem.
No. As you'll see on the video, as we're coming into
It's a bit
Paddington,
green.
it's a bit green. You can understand why the tourists thought it was grass and fell in.
Yes.
You'll see why.
Yeah.
But here in Paddington, there's hardly any at all. And what they're doing is they've got a series of air pumps. And these air pumps are blowing air from the bottom of the canal to the surface. And that's keeping the weed at bay, believe it or not. There's hardly any at all in the basin here. So, anyway, enough waffling for
Yes,
us.
that's it.
Time we got moving. So thanks very much
So-
for watching, folks. I do apologise for the wobbly camera.
It is a bit windy.
Yeah. So do take care and look after yourselves, and we'll see you next time on Life on Board AmyJo.